talking about this chart, this little tiny baby pump, this baby, super tiny baby pump, okay? 277,000 in dashboard money. 277. I just got my Lambo, boy. So that tiny pump produced that much dashboard money. So you can imagine when I say I'm shooting for 10, 20, 30, $40 million out of this project, my stance still remains the same, and that is max minting Centurions for island money. That has not changed, okay? But the short-term price action is really nice to see.
Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? It's Zen Mania. Oh man, I tell you what. So we had this pump. Now, on the scheme of things, it looks like the tiniest pump on the planet. When you zoom in, it's a super pump. But I tell you what, Zen is getting people's attention. And everyone's like, why is Zen pumping? I wanted to get some important things across to people on Zen today. I do believe it's going to be a very, very successful project that's going to mint multi-millionaires. However, you have to play the game right. So the reason behind this pump is DBXEN, okay? Where you burn your Zen, you get DBXEN, you get divs, repeat, repeat. But keep in mind, my stance still has not changed on Zen, and that is, if you take anything away from this video today, is that Zen is a long-term project, okay, if you play the game right. Long-term. Let me stress that, okay? If you're buying Zen right now, I'm not saying that you can't make a good trade, but it is highly risky. Okay, this can reverse and then it goes back into a down cycle. Now, how likely is that with the whole DBXEN thing going on? I don't know, because basically it kind of has created this perpetual engine that keeps people having to buy liquid Zen. But my stance still remains the same, and that is max minting Centurions for island money. That has not changed, okay? But the short-term price action is really nice to see. So this is what I was talking about. You never know what to expect with Zen. So like I said, I was max minting, and now you can see with the price barely up that once again, you don't necessarily have to max mint to make a profit. But, okay, 60 days. Oh, okay, this is the important factor. So I've been trying to get all my mints in around 12, 13 Gwei, okay? So technically, you could do a short mint, and it's profitable. Now, you got to keep in mind the claim. I'm not sure if that includes the claim costs or not. But, so the point being is a 60-day mint is now once again profitable. But 60 days from now, you don't know that. So what I want you to take away from this is, if you play the long game with Zen, as I've stated many times, laddering stakes out, delayed gratification, 448 days, that if you do once a month, once a week, that after that initial 448, which most people won't be able to have the discipline to do, you'll have new fresh coins coming in weekly, monthly, etc., and then you continue to mint. So all of this network activity on Zen is very interesting. And actually, let's look here. I saw this. Where is it? This is pretty dope. This is the Miro. Someone built a Zen ecosystem chart, and you can see it's crazy. So you can zoom in and it's high res, but for those that think Zen is not going to be successful. I beg to differ because this thing is scaling out incredibly fast, and all kinds of different things are going to be built, and it's going to be cool. But again, if you're going for that island money, I'm still max minting, because at the end of the day, I want as many coins as possible. Now, talking about this chart, this little tiny baby pump, this baby, super tiny baby pump, okay? 277,000 in dashboard money. 277. I just come a Lambo, boy. So that tiny pump produced that much dashboard money. So you can imagine when I say I'm shooting for 10, 20, 30, $40 million out of this project long term. It could be 2 or 3 years. It could be 4 years. But the point is, you can't get shook out, and you gotta stay true to the methodology, and that is max minting on a ladder. Now that I talked about the ecosystem a little bit, let's talk about DXN. So, I personally am not in DXN, okay? And the reason being, there's a couple reasons. Number one, it's expensive, okay? I think it's a great project. It's been successful and people are making money. But there is risk to it. You're going to have to burn a lot of Zen in order to be competitive in this. Now, and then you have to be able to wait, because you have to burn the Zen up front, then you get your refund, and then you have the protocol fees. And you can see this person burnt 1,000,000,000 Zen, which was $2,800. They had a gas fee of $4,800. So $6,000 to burn 1,000. Now, this is a monster position on DXN. So here's my point. The people that are early in DBXEN that get large pool shares and they get nice huge payouts like this, they're going to be exponentially ahead of everyone else. So if you just burn like 1,000,000 Zen and then you get a couple, it's not necessarily that it's not a lot of money, it's just not meaningful money. And if I was going to go into DBXEN, I'd probably drop 10K, 20K stacks in order to be competitive. I mean, this person spent basically $7,000 up front, and they're already at 28% of the pool. And then you can see the active participants is still growing, so this gets more and more competitive. So ultimately, this is drying up the Zen supply, which is good, because I wouldn't doubt. I'm just saying, I wouldn't doubt that this could moon to $500,000, $1 million based on what I have in it in the short time. The question is, you don't know how long people will continue to participate, because you have to remember those early stakers are going to get a high level of divs, okay? And they keep their divs staked so that they have a greater pool share. And if you take anything away, the way you win in DBXEN is you have to maintain the largest pool share, okay? So those people that got in on day 1, 2, they definitely have an advantage, because they're going to get more ETH rewards that they can recycle into buying Zen, and then rinse and repeat. So you have to think of it this way, is the latecomers are propelling the ETH rewards to the early adopters of DBXEN. Now, you do get an XN airdrop if you burn, which is cool. So, that's where I'm hesitant, because if I would have got in on day 1, I would probably be going in and doing something. Now, with that in mind, keep in mind, these whales are smart. They want this thing to go up to $500 a coin, okay? There's not that many coins in the liquidity pool, so it can be very volatile if someone sells up or down. So I expect this, if people continue to participate in FOMO and DBXEN, I wouldn't doubt if this gets to $200, $500, $1,000 a coin. But keep in mind, the whales will sell at some point, and you just don't want to get caught under that. Then you're trapped in the protocol, which basically goes on for 62 years or something like that. Now, with that being said, okay, going over to the BNB side, okay, we can see this baby pump. Now, what does that tell me? This tells me that likely BDXN, which is another basically DXN, but it's on BSC chain, is likely to pump the price of Zen on BSC. And as I told you, I am long game. I'm collecting Centurions on BSC because people are still selling at a loss. Like yesterday, let's see, there was 0.08s and 0.09s, and you can't even mint a Centurion that cheap on BSC. Now, you see what happened? The price spiked up. I scooped up 14 Centurions yesterday at the 0.08 range. These are 0.17, so these are becoming more valuable, okay? So what can I derive from this? Well, the price of BDXN is starting to moon, okay? Which is going to drive the price of BZEN. And the thing I like about this is BZEN is still cheap, okay? So I put a little bit into the pools, into the BZEN pools, but even those are expensive. The top burner here has burnt 471 billion coins. You're going to have a hard time even getting a hold of that many coins on BSC because there's simply not that many coins. There's only 190 billion in liquidity, and this whale has already burnt 2.5 times that. So they have a huge advantage. Now, this person just burnt 7 billion, 1,500, so they spent about $2,000, and they're going to get 6,000 BDXN. So if you multiply the 6,000 times the price on BDXN, that's $12,000. But there's only $2,000 in liquidity. So the smart whales will hold until liquidity builds, and then they'll dump so they can accelerate their cycle as a whale. So keep in mind, I like DBXEN, but it is a whale game that you have to get in early. Now, what I like about the BSC side of this is the liquidity is not there yet, okay? So, on here, the liquidity is already starting to build, and then Zen USDC has, let's see, what is Zen USDC now? Let's see. So yeah, there's almost 1 million in liquidity on Zen USDC. So how can you take advantage of this? So if you don't want to participate in Zen on a big scale, I think that the liquidity is going to get driven up on this, and I personally think that it's likely that this is going to accelerate. So as you can see, there's only 14,000 liquidity. So I think this is a good opportunity to be a liquidity provider because we had a nice long downturn, and now we're upticking. And if this repeats what the east side did, I would expect Zen on BSC to start to moon. So with that, I went ahead and added about $2,000 liquidity on the BSC side. It's paying 275%, and I've got 13% of the pool at $2,000. So not financial advice. I do think this is a great opportunity to earn LP, and this directly pays LP tokens and LP tokens. So what I do is I start tracking my LP, my number of LP, and then my total value, and then I can kind of see if it's a losing proposition. But this is almost 1% a day, and we have this whole BDXN and BSC thing starting. So I think that people will be like, oh, East side's expensive. Maybe I'll get into the BSC side. So I think we could see the BSC side accelerate. So I'm sorry, this is a lot of information. I know it's a lot to talk about today. So, but as my members, I want to present to you what I think are the opportunities, and it also depends on how much money you want to spend. For me to make it worth my while on the east side, I'm going to have to put in 10, 20, 30K, and I just don't really want to do that. I would rather continue to mint more Centurions on the east side. Now, like I said, if I would have got in on day one, I would have considered, going in. But I definitely see the BSC side as an opportunity. Now, it's almost impossible really to buy the BDXN right now because there's no liquidity. So that would be my second move, would be to snag up some BDXN if I can and try to provide liquidity on that, because this LP token could be worth a lot in the future. So a lot of information today, but Zen, one thing is for sure, Zen is here to stay. There's going to be a lot of opportunities, but when you look at these opportunities, make sure you see the whole picture, okay? And if you're buying Zen right now, again, there is risk in that, because the way the system is designed, it's designed to be minted. We're in the minting inflationary stage right now. So the goal is to come out on the other side exponentially ahead of other people, but that could take some long time. But, before you know it, it'll be here. So, hope you enjoyed today's video. Like, subscribe, and as always, this is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.
No.